So Rowan, Scottish sent, what, 16 teams down to the Takahe to Akaroa Relay, the national champs this year. Can you just give us a bit of a summary of how the weekend went for the club? I hear that you did pretty well.
Yeah, that went very well. Probably couldn't have gone better. It was the first time in a long time we'd sent a junior team, which was pretty exciting. Also had a strong senior women's team, which was really good to see after a couple of weaker years. And and also we obviously had say 16 teams, which I think for us must be a record, because it's just great to see that many people out there sort of in yellow. And when you have that kind of depth, it means that the front end's always going to be strong as well. So we had some good results throughout the grades.
So I mean, obviously the interest was going to be in the A team, the title holders going into the event. How did they actually go? Can you give us a bit of a dissection on how they performed across the whole team? I hear it was touch and go at times. Yeah,
it was. We were obviously pretty confident the week out, and then about sort of 3 or 4 days prior, we got a Hamish Carson, who's obviously our star runner, came in with an email saying basically he's vomiting, he's got fever, not sure he can run, and so we started putting in some contingency plans. Just to make matters worse, on the actual night prior to the relay, one of our flights got cancelled as well. So one of the guys from the A team, 3 of the women from the senior women's team, and also one of the guys from the masters team ended up having to fly to Dunedin and then drive up to Christchurch at about get in at about 3:30 in the morning. So on the morning of the race, we lost Hamish. Fortunately, we had managed to keep Christian, who had obviously been the guy that was stuck in Dunedin. So we were a bit apprehensive, but the race went really well. We had Malcolm first because he's very good downhill and he knows that course well, and he got us off to a bit of a good flying start. Then had Niam up second, who's had a brilliant season all year long, with some great running over the mountains, and we knew that lap 2 would suit him. It's a tough lap though, and the other teams had some good runners, so at the end of that lap he will probably back a bit more middle light, but that's when we knew that the depth of the team would come through. And so on lap 3 was myself, and I was basically just trying to close that gap to that point, the 2 teams in front of us. And then Christian had an absolute stormer and basically took us to the lead. We kind of knew that between me and Christian, if we both ran good legs, would be stronger than the other teams on those two flatter legs. Then it was Nick, who was up against the 10k champ and the half marathon champ, and so the hope was that if he could get to the end of that lap in touch, our depth over the next 3 legs would probably see us through. I was actually expecting Nick to lose a bit of time, but he had an absolute brilliant run, and end of that lap we were actually essentially leading. We then went to Harry up the hill, of course went to the running champs, great at Vosler, so that was his strength. So he got us a good lead. Then to Evan, who's, other than Hamish, has probably got the most track speed amongst our team. He went down the hill, and so not surprisingly that track speed came through and we got a bit more of a gap, which meant that when Dan took over on that last lap with a 50-second lead, we were pretty confident that he wouldn't get beaten. UC pushed us hard, and they started to close that gap on that last lap, but thankfully over the last third of that leg, Dan was able to run away and in the end secured obviously that historic 4th victory for us.
And also that historic photo at the end that I saw on Facebook as well. Have you seen that?
Which one's that?
It's him waving to a whole mob of Scottish.
Oh yeah, that was great to see. Yeah, and it kind of shows just how much the club enjoys the relays, and for us to be at one point, I guess 80 seconds behind at then Hill City, so and, to come back and actually take out the title was it was pretty nervous, but it was great to show the depth of the club.
So you basically picked up the lead on next lap, was it?
On Christian. So Christian took us to the lead in the sprint finish.
Right.
And then you were able to essentially pull away over the last 3 legs, but so we were down a bit. So it was nice to be able to come back and close that gap and then push on for that victory.
So what do you think of the Murray McKinnon's preview then, which had kind of suggested that Hill City might be the favourite?
A little bit surprised. I mean, we thought it was going to be it's going to be tight between us, LCC and also UC. I mean, it's always hard to know, obviously, what teams are like, because a lot of us haven't raced for a month. But we thought it was quite an open race, and so we were a little bit surprised that that was kind of been called already. But it's good to see that on the day, obviously, that we were right, and that was going to be a good battle.
So there were some other successes as well in the other grades, weren't there?
Yeah. So I mean, the Masters men's 40 had a great run and got a victory. What was also a pretty close race. Our MM50 team dominated their grade, which was great to see, because I've had a few close runs, and they've obviously were pretty keen to finally get that victory. It's also very pleasing to see our junior men, who were in a very close battle and just missed out on gold with a second place. And so it's the first time we've had a junior men's team in a couple of years, so it was pretty exciting to see. And of course our senior women's team got third, and I think that's the first time that podium for 4 years. So it's been a bit frustrating to see that team 4 years ago, who was so good, sort of drop away a little bit. So it's nice to see them back on the podium, and with both an A team and a B team, showing that we're getting some depth back in the women's grades as well.
So next year the relay is going to be in fielding, so I guess one of the priorities will be, or one of the objectives will be, to try and retain the strength right through until then. Yeah,
I mean, it is nice for Scottish to be able to go to a relay knowing that especially for the men, we have an A team that's meant to podium and a B team that won't be far behind. And it sort of showed this time around with we lost Hamish. We pulled a guy from the B team who ran a fastest lap on his leg, which is a sign of the strength that the Scottish has. And also the women this year, we had an A team and a B team in the A grade as well. So it'd be nice to be able to go back and maintain that sort of depth, especially in the senior ranks, which is obviously where the sport needs to focus.
Thanks very much, Rowan. Much appreciated.
Cool. Cheers.